Ni hao, it's RJ with Tai Chi for you. Hello. So you made it this far. You passed the halfway point. Fei Zheng Hao. Very good. So we're going to be working on postures 9 and 10 for lesson number 5. What I want to say is, you know how we break the postures down? We work on the legs separately from the hands, then we work on the hand movements. So this is an approach that you can take for years down the line. If you're studying on your own and you want to learn some new movements by watching a video that has no instruction, it's just a demonstration of the moves, what you can do is just focus all your attention on what the person is doing with their legs. And then once you understand that, then focus on what just one arm is doing. And then focus on what the other arm is doing. And by taking these movements, breaking them down, the way that we have been doing in these lessons, you can actually do this throughout your whole lifetime to make your postures better. The other thing I want to point out is, I've said before that this doesn't need a lot of space to practice. So as an example, if you're working on hand movements, let's say you're working on a very complicated hand movement, well then you can just stay in one spot and just work on that hand motion without actually stepping. So this is just something you can think about later. You can just work on your leg movements, working from one end of your property to the other, or you can just stay in one position and work on your hand movements. So this is how we can constantly make our practice better without needing a lot of space. So with that, we can start with our open Tai Chi, and then we'll go through the postures up to the point that you're familiar with, and then we'll get into the next lesson. So we'll start with feet together, hands by the side, and we can start with the eyes closed and just take a moment to relax. Okay, so open your eyes and let's open Tai Chi. Part the wild horse's mane. White crane spreads its wings. Brush knee and step forward. Block, parry, and punch. Appears close up, followed with a push. Single whip. And play the loop. Okay, so we'll repeat that. And then what I'll do at the end is I'll just continue with the next two postures, and then we can start breaking it all down. So again, with feet together, we can just take a moment. open Tai Chi. Part the wild horse's mane. White crane spreads its wings. Brush knee and step forward. Block, parry, and punch. Appears close up, followed with a push. Single whip. Play the lute. Okay, so that's our next two postures, and I'll give you different angles of what that looks like. So we finished here last week in our play the lute. So what you'll have noticed is, from our play the lute, I stayed on that straight line, but I moved backwards. That's our first posture. As always, I want to keep pointing out that when we open Tai Chi, then we go into Pot the Wild Horse's mane. We start moving on that straight line all the time, staying on that straight line the whole time, all the way up to play the lute. But now we continue on that straight line, moving backwards. But then when I turn around, I'm going to go off that center line. All right, I'll give you a different angle here from the back side. I continue on that straight line. So now I turn around and I step to this corner. So again, I want you to picture yourself in a square room. We're going to the corner of the room, and then we'll go to this corner of the room. So that's the first time that we're going to go off that center line. So I'll give you a different angle here. All right, and I'll give you one more angle here, and then we'll start breaking this all down. All right, so our first posture, sometimes it's called whirling arms because that's, I guess, kind of what you do. But in our case, it's called Repulse the monkey. And in Chinese translation, Dao Juan Gong. So for Repulse the monkey, what we want is, first we want to take mountain climbing stance that we've been using since the beginning. So in mountain climbing stance, most of the weight is in that front leg. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the body back. So what's happening is the front leg is straightening out, the back leg is bending. This is the posture that we're going to take with the legs. So we go from mountain climbing stance, this is called sit back stance, where we sit back. So most of the bend is in the front leg in mountain climbing stance. When we sit back, most of the bend is in that back leg. So now most of the weight is in the back leg, but you do have weight on both legs. So this is our posture as far as the legs are concerned. The forward hand is going to be the same side as the leg. So here I have the left leg forward. My left hand will be forward. My left hand, you know how we do push, where our elbows are tucked in and our palms are facing out. So here, my left leg is forward, my left hand is forward, and you want to think of push. You want that elbow tucked in, the palm facing outward, and I can see over my fingertips. So that's the forward hand. The other hand, we can call it the low hand, is going to be palm upwards, and it's going to be right around the pocket below the belt line. Very relaxed. I have a nice bend in the arm here, and likewise the forward hand has a nice bend in it as always. My shoulder is nice and relaxed. My elbow is relaxed. So that's going to be our posture for Repulse the monkey. Now I think the challenge here is going to be we're stepping backwards. So this is really going to be a challenge for your balance. And over time it will increase your balance. So we're going to start there with the stepping. So we finished here last week in Play the Lute. So now what's going to happen is I want you to flatten out that front foot. This will give you a little more stability. So we go from here in our Play the Lute, we flatten out that front foot. So now what we're going to do is drag that front leg in towards the other foot. So now once again, picturing yourself in a square room, what we're going to do is we're going to step backwards, but we're going to step to that corner, to that left corner. So I want you to take just a half a step backwards, stepping backwards on the toe. Now slowly move your body back onto that back leg. From here, we're going to rotate the body to the left, and we're going to do that by pivoting on the front toe. So our body moves to the left, and that front leg moves with it. So now if you take a comfortable stance where you have equal weight on both legs, both of your toes should be pointing roughly in the same direction to the front corner of the room. Approximately to the front corner of the room. So we'll start again in our Play the Lute. So flatten out the front foot to give us some stability. And now drag that front leg in to the other foot. And so we're on the toe now. On the front leg is on the toe. Now we take a half a step back to that corner on the toe. Move the body backwards till all of the weight is on the back leg. Now the whole body turns, pivoting on the front toe. Now if we take a comfortable stance, both of the toes should be pointing roughly in the front corner. So now from here we basically do the same thing. We take that front leg, drag it into the other foot, step back to the other corner on the toe, and then slowly move the body back. From here, turn the whole body the other way to the right, pivoting on that front toe. So now, both of the toes should be pointing roughly to the right corner. So again, we'll start with our play the lute posture. So flatten out the front foot, drag it into the body, staying on the toe. Take only a half a step back to the back corner. I'm stepping to the left. I bring all of my weight to the back foot. Now my whole body and the leg pivots on that front toe. And then here we are. And then we drag the front leg into the other leg. We take a half step back to the other corner on the toe. Move the body back. So all of the weight is in the back leg. Now rotate the entire body to the right, pivoting on that front toe. So this is one of those things that you can practice just the stepping. You can practice from one end of your property to the other end of your property. Just taking that stance, coming in, stepping back, turning that foot out. Stepping in, stepping back, turning the front foot out. So that's really the only thing that's involved here. It will take some time to get used to the balance of dragging that foot in, stepping back to that corner, move the body back, turn the foot out to the front, turn the front toe out, pull the front leg in, step back, move the body back, turn everything to the right. Maintaining the good posture the whole time. I give you this side view here. We start with our play the lute. I'll give you a side view. Maintain that body upright the whole time. So I want to make it clear that when we step back, I'm not stepping directly in back of the other foot. I'm stepping at a slight angle, going to that corner of the room, to the back corner. All right, stepping to that back corner. And by taking small steps, it's going to help us with the next movement that we have to get into. Later on, you can take a larger step back. But for now, I just want you to take a half a step because we need to do a transitional move into the next posture. And by taking a smaller step, you'll more easily accomplish that. So now let's look at hand movements. So the hand movements, we start with our play the lute. Now what's going to happen is the low hand is going to relax. And then it's going to pivot up at the shoulder with the palm upwards. So I'll give you this straight onto the camera view, because what I'm doing is my low arm will rise up and it's facing the back corner. Facing the back corner of the room with the palm up. So in other words, if I give you this view here, in other words, the arm is not by side of me, it's not in back of me, it's at that corner of the room. Again, if I'm facing the flat part of a room, the flat wall is facing the corner of the room. So that's what's happening with the low hand. The low hand drops and relaxes, and then just pivots at the shoulder, and the palm is up. The arm has a nice roundness to it. It's very open, a very large movement. Now what's going to happen with the other hand is the other hand is going to go palm upwards, and it's going to stretch out a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit of a forward movement, keeping that nice roundness. So both of your arms have a nice roundness to it. From this angle here, you can see that the forward arm stays in front of the body. So from our play the lute, it stays in front of the body. I just turn the palm facing up and stretch out a little bit. As the other hand relaxes and rises up to the corner of the room. So that's our beginning movement for the hands. Now for the moment, let's take a comfortable stance about the width of your hips, toes pointing forward, and let's just work on our hand movements. So from our play the lute, right, this is our play the lute posture. So with our hands in play the lute, we relax the low arm and just bring it up to that back corner, palm facing upwards. Take the forward arm, turn it at the wrist, and stretch it out a little bit so the palm is facing up. So now what's going to happen with that back arm, it's going to be very much like brush knee. I'm going to relax the shoulder and elbow and bring that hand in close to the body. So now we're going to get to that principle as one hand moves forward, one hand moves back. So from here, I relax the back arm, I turn my waist to the left. Now what that's doing is, it's pulling the forward hand backwards. When my waist is turned all the way around to the left, I continue the movement with both of the arms, going in different directions. And now we're here in our first Repulse the monkey. One hand is forward, palm facing out. The other arm is relaxed, and the hand is palm upwards, just below the belt line. So there we are there. So now to go to the other side, we just repeat that. I relax the low arm, and then I just pivot at the shoulder, bringing it up to the back corner with the palm facing up. The forward hand turns at the wrist, and I stretch out a little bit, just a little bit. I take my back arm, relax the shoulder and elbow to bring the hand in close to the head. Now I turn at the waist to the right. When the arms, or I should say, when the waist is turned all the way around, now I continue that movement with the arms. One hand going forward, one hand going back. Now I don't want to start moving the arms too quickly. As I'm here, I don't want to start the movement too quickly and then turn the waist. I want you to turn the waist first and just allow the waist to move the arms. When the waist no longer turns anymore, now we continue that movement. So from here, we relax the back arm and just turn the waist. Don't do anything with the arms yet until the waist is turned all the way around. Now continue the movement with the arms. So we'll start with our play the lute. The left arm is forward. The right arm is by the elbow. I relax the low arm, pivot at the shoulder, and the palm is face up. Again, at that back corner. The other hand turns at the wrist, so also it's palm up, and I can stretch it out a little bit. Now I relax the back arm, bringing it close to the body. Now just turn the waist as far as the waist will go. Just by turning the waist, that pulls the front hand forward. It pulls the forward hand back, allowing the back hand to start to move forward. And that's just by turning the waist. We're not even moving the arms yet. When the waist is turned all the way around, we complete the movements with the arms going in opposite directions. Then we can relax the low arm, pivot at the shoulder to the back corner, turn the wrist of the front arm, and then relax the back arm. Again, just turn the waist. And then the arms move in opposite directions. So that's it. That's really all we have to do with the arms. So now let's see if we can start to combine some of this. So we start with our play the lute. I relax the low arm. Now I pivot at the shoulder, bringing the arm up to the back corner and the palm is facing up. My front hand turns at the wrist. So now from here, what's going to happen is we flatten out the front foot. We drag it into the body. Take your back arm, relax the elbow, bring the hand close to the body. So now, don't move the hands. Just take a half a step back and move the body back. So most of your weight is on that back leg. Now, just turn the waist. Don't do anything with the arms. Just turn the waist, pivoting on that front toe. When the body's turned all the way around, now move the hands in opposite directions. See, it's the waist turning that starts the movement. So now, we're in Repulse the monkey. So now we repeat that on the other side. We relax the low arm, and now pivot at the shoulder to the other back corner, so the palm is facing up. Take the front hand, turn it at the wrist, so it's also palm up. Relax the back arm at the elbow and shoulder, so the hand is close to the body. Now drag that front foot into the other foot. Do not move the hands. Take a half a step back on the toe to the back corner. Move the body back till most of the weight is on that back foot. Now, do not move the arms. Turn the body to the right, pivoting on that front toe. Now, move the arms in opposite directions. So now you've completed Repulse the monkey on both sides. So let's do that again. We'll start with our play the lute from last week. We relax the low arm at the shoulder, relaxing it. Pivot at the shoulder to the back corner so the palm is facing up. Now relax the elbow and shoulder. Bring the hand in close to the body. Make sure the other hand is palm up. So flatten out the front foot. Drag the front foot into the other foot. Do not move the arms. Take a half a step back to the back corner. So I'm on the toe. Now I move the body back to the back leg. I do not move the arms. I turn my body to the left, pivoting on the front toe. Now my hands separate in opposite directions. From here, I relax the low arm. I pivot at the shoulder to the back corner. Palm is facing up. My forward hand is facing up. I drag the front leg into the other leg. I take a half a step back to the other corner. I allow my body to move backwards till my weight's on the back leg. I can relax the shoulder and elbow of the back arm. Turn my waist, pivoting at the front toe, and the hands separate. So I'm going to go through that a couple of times just to let you watch it. I won't give any instructions. I'll just go through it a couple of times. Okay, from play the lute, and I'll give you different angles as well. Okay, I'll give you this side view here. So once again, I want to mention that you can always slow these videos down. Go on the screen, there's a little setting there, and you can slow the speed of the video down. I'll give you this angle here. Alright, so let's start working on how to turn around. So at this point, you know, we're on that center line. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn around and we're going to stay on that center line before going into the next posture. So just remember that. When we turn around for this transition, we're still on that center line. We haven't started the next posture yet. So I'm going to give you, I think this is going to be the best view here. So we just finished our Repulse the monkey 2 times. So now I just want you to focus on what my legs are doing, and then I'll start breaking it down. Now see, I stopped there because that's our center line. And I'll show you what I mean here. So we're here, Repulse the monkey. And I'm facing the flat wall. So you can see at this point, if I was to step forward, I'm on that center line. So here's what I want to point out. I said I'm facing that flat wall. What I mean is, so my toes are pointing to the corner of the room. Here's what I mean. I want to make this very clear what I'm saying here. So we start in our play the lute, Repulse the monkey. So when I do my first Repulse the monkey, my toes are pointing to that corner of the room, but I'm still on that straight line, that center line. I'm looking in that direction. That's where my attention is. I go from here, I'm staying on that straight line, even though I'm stepping back to that corner. When I complete the posture, my intention is on that straight line. My toes, however, are pointed to that corner. So now when I repeat that posture, again, I'm focusing on that straight line. My toes are going to be pointing to that corner. So this is our starting position. I'm focusing on that straight line ahead of me, but my toes are pointing to that corner. So now I drag that front foot in, and then I begin to turn around, and I'll be on that center line when I finish turning around. So I'm going to give you the back view now. So my starting position is both of my toes are pointing to that corner of the room, but my intention is going to be straight forward. Okay, my intention is straight in that straight line. So now I'll drag that front foot in. Now when I turn around, if I step up, I'm on that center line still. So even though my toes are pointing to that corner, my intention is on the straight line. Now if I step forward, I would still be on that straight line. So I'm going to start here, give you a different view. So right now, I'm focusing on that straight line. So just watch what my footwork is doing. I'm dragging the front foot into the other foot. And that's completely turned around now. going to come in a little bit closer to the camera. So my feet are here. So I drag the front foot in, and I'm going to break all this down. So again, my feet are angled out to the corner of the room. So let's start breaking this down. So what I'm doing is, I'm dragging the front foot into the other foot, but I'm on the toe. What I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to pivot on that left toe. Now my body is going to continue rotating in one direction. So just remember that. I start in this condition here, I start in this position here, and I rotate until I'm in this position. So the body is going to just making one turn, one complete turn, all the way around, moving in one direction. So with the feet facing that corner of the room, so what I'm doing is I'm dragging the front leg into the other leg, and I stay on the toe. Now my whole body turns to the right, but I pivot on that left toe as far as I can go, pivoting. Now I move my body back till all of the weight is on that left leg. It's going to feel very awkward. Now I take the other leg, I continue rotating my body in the same direction, but now I rotate on the heel. Again, as far as the body can turn, and as far as the leg can turn. So now, if I were to step up forward, I would be on that center line. And again, I'll give you different angles, but just take a look at what my legs are doing here. I drag the front leg in, and I stay on the toe. Now everything turns to the right, pivoting on that toe. I move my body back onto that left leg. Now I continue rotating in the same direction to the right. Now I pivot on the other heel. So now if I were to step forwards, I would be on that center line. So let's take it from your perspective with the back view. So facing me, point both of your toes, point both toes to the front corner. So don't be concerned about the hands right now. Just make sure both toes are pointing to the front corner. Now take the front leg and drag it into the body, so you're on the toe. So now turn the body all the way to the right as far as you can go, pivoting on that left toe. Now move the body backwards until all of the weight is on the left leg. From here, we continue moving the body to the right, but we pivot on the other heel. Again, as far as you can turn the body. So now, if you were to step forwards, you should be on that center line. So this is, I think that what I want to point out is how difficult it is to convey some of this through video. If you take a yoga class or a Tai Chi class, it's really important to be in the same room with the teacher, because in yoga, they're constantly making corrections. They're constantly making adjustments to the student to do the posture correctly. Same thing here. If I was in the room with you, I could make adjustments based on your needs to help you accomplish a movement like this. We could have a conversation, is what I'm saying, by being in the same space. So that's why it's important to either go to the park and be with a teacher in the park or in a class, so you can get these adjustments. I try to give you as much detail as I can, but now you're beginning to understand how important it is to learn something like this with the teacher in the same room. So we'll go through that again. So point both of your toes to the front corner of the room, and now drag the left leg into the other leg. Turn the body all the way to the right, pivoting on that left toe. Then move the body back onto the left leg. Now keep turning the body to the right, pivoting on the other heel. So now once again, if you were to just step forward, you would be on that center line. So that's our transition move before we get into the next posture. So I'll give you this angle here. Both of my toes are pointed to that front corner of the room. I drag the left leg into the other leg. My whole body turns to the right, pivoting on the left toe. I let my body move back onto the left leg. Now I continue rotating to the right, pivoting on the other heel. Okay, so let's start adding some hand movements to this. So I'll give you this view here. So I'll start with play the lute. So now we're here in our first, getting ready for our first so now we're going to hold the ball just like in open Tai Chi, and the hand position is going to be exactly the same thing. So we're going to take the forward hand. The forward hand is going to hold underneath the ball. So to do that, the forward hand does a scooping movement. I scoop under the ball. So I go from here and I just scoop. The low hand is going to hold the top of the ball. So all I need to do is just move my hand on top of the ball. So the forward hand does a scooping movement and the other hand goes on top of the ball. So here we are. From our Repulse to monkey, I scoop under and the other hand goes on top of the ball. So now from this position here, I drag the front foot in, my whole body turns to the right. I let my body move backwards onto the left leg. I continue rotating to the right on the other heel. So now I step up. Now here I'm going to step off center. So I'll give you this angle here. So I've stepped up at this point. Now I step to the front corner into a mountain climbing stance. So let's go over that. Okay, so I'm in Repulse the monkey here. The forward hand does a scooping movement under the ball. The other hand moves on top of the ball. I drag the left foot into the other. My whole body rotates to the right. I relax back onto the left leg. I continue rotating on the other heel. So now I step up and I step out to the front corner of the room into a mountain climbing stance. So that's where we are. So we finished in Repulse the monkey. The left hand is forward. The left hand scoops under the ball. The other hand goes on top of the ball. I drag the left leg into the body. Turn the body all the way to the right, pivoting on that left toe. Allow the body to move back onto the left leg. Continue rotating the body to the right, pivoting on the other heel. Now we step up, and it's at this point here you can stop and hold your balance if you need to. Now we step to the front corner of the room into a mountain climbing stance. So from here, what's going to happen is we're going to rock back like we do with part the wild horse's mane. We rock back on the heel, but we're not going to turn the foot. We're just going to go from mountain climbing stance, rock back on the heel, and then we're just going to move forward. So all the weight's on the left leg, and then we're going to step to the other corner of the room. So that's what's going to happen with our next posture. We go from this corner of the room, we rock back, and then we step up, and then we step out to the other corner of the room. So let's get into the next posture. So the next posture is called Fairy Maiden Weaves at the Shuttle. In Chinese translation, Yu Nu Chuan Swa. So for Fairy Maiden Weaves at the Shuttle, what we have is a mountain climbing stance. Whichever leg is forward, the same hand is going to be above the head. So you want to think of protecting the head. Something coming down, and we're protecting the head. So I have a very nice roundness to the arm. The arm is very round, and if I look up, I can see the back of the hand. So I'm here. So the hand is not low, and the hand is not over my head. The hand is in front of me, but it's above my head. So I'm in mountain climbing stance. Whichever leg is forward, the same hand is above the head. The other hand is going to be palm outwards. Now you want to think of this hand just like we do push. It's a pushing movement. So the back leg is also the same hand. So you want to keep the elbow tucked into the body and the palm is facing outward. So I'll give you this angle here. The hand is forward slightly. I have a nice bend in the elbow and I'm here. So I'm going to give you this angle here because what you'll notice is my waist is going to turn a little bit. There's going to be a lot of twisting at the waist to allow that back hand to move forward. So that's our posture. Fairy Maiden Weaves at the Shuttle. So from this angle here, if we get into a mountain climbing stance and I just raise the front arm, now if I turn my waist to the left, that's my position. So if I just step out into a mountain climbing stance, I raise the front arm in front of me, so I'm looking at the back of my hand, but now I turn my waist to the left. That's my position. Now I want to take the other hand, bring the elbow into the body, and the palm is facing out, and move the hand slightly forward. That's our position. So this angle here, on a mountain climbing stance, I raise my arm, I turn my waist to the left, the other hand is palm out, and I move it forward slightly. So again, have a nice bend in the elbow. So what you want to think of is there's an object right in front of you. So what you don't want is, you don't want to move in. You don't want to be stretching out to make contact with that object. You want to think of the object being right in front of you. So all you need is a little bit of movement in the arm forward. The waist is turned all the way to the left, and the other hand is here. The low hand is in front of you. So the hand, the low hand, is in line with the shoulder, about the same height as the shoulder. So again, have a good posture, make sure the body is upright, and we're here. Okay, so whichever leg is forward, that's going to be your high hand. So let's start with play the lute. We'll start from there, and then we'll get into position. So repulse the monkey 2 times. Drag the front foot in. The forward hand scoops under to hold the ball. The other hand goes on top of the ball. Rotate the body to the right, pivoting on the left toe. Relax back onto the left foot. Continue turning the body to the right, pivoting on the other heel. So now step up and step out to that front corner. So now what's going to happen is, let me back up a little bit. Now what's going to happen is, the low hand is going to go high. So the low hand, all you need to do is rotate at the shoulder. And then from here, turn the wrist. So you're looking at the back of the hand. So the other hand just needs to, remember we're holding a ball here, the other hand just needs to go palm outward, and we relax the shoulder and elbow. So we're holding the ball here, I just relax the shoulder and the elbow, and that palm turns palm outward. So I go from holding the ball, the low hand rotates at the shoulder, and I turn the wrist, so the palm is facing outward. The other hand relaxes at the shoulder and elbow. Now I turn the waist as far as I can go and take the low hand and press forward slightly. Again, keep a good body posture and make sure that the low arm has a nice curve to it, a nice bend in it. So I'll go from here over Repulse the monkey. The forward hand scoops under to hold the ball. The other hand goes on top of the ball. I drag the front foot into the body. My body turns to the right, pivoting on that left toe. I relax back onto the left leg. I continue turning my body to the right, pivoting on the other heel. I step up. I step forward to that front corner. The low arm rotates at the shoulder. I turn the wrist so I can see the back of my hand. The low arm relaxes at the shoulder and elbow, and the palm is facing out. I turn my waist to the left, and then the low arm presses forward slightly. So now from here, what's going to happen is we're going to rock back. Now the low hand is going to stay low. I rock back. The low hand holds the bottom of the ball. The other hand holds the top of the ball. So now we're just in the opposite position we were just a moment ago. We relax back. The low hand holds under the ball, the other hand on top of the ball. The body moves forward. We step forward to the other corner of the room. The low arm rotates at the shoulder. We turn the hand so the back of the hand faces us. We relax the other arm at the shoulder and elbow. Now turn the waist to the right, and then the low hand presses forward slightly. So I'll take it from this point here. We step to the left corner of the room, and we're here. We relax back on the front heel. We step up, step forward to the other corner of the room into a mountain climbing stance. Rotate at the shoulder. So in other words, the elbow never moves. We just rotate at the shoulder until the hand is above the head, and then we turn the wrist. The low arm relaxes, so now the palm is facing outwards. I turn my waist to the right, and then the low hand presses forward slightly. Again, maintaining a nice bend in the elbow. So I'll give you an idea what this looks like, a little bit more fluid. Okay, so there's no need for the body to move this arm way out. We want to maintain a good posture, mountain climbing stance, good posture, and just rotate at the waist. And then move this arm out, but keep a nice bend in the arm. Remember that this hand that's pressing forward, there's an object in front of you. Okay? The object is not away from you, not far away. The object is right in front of you to make contact with it. and then the other arm is protecting the head. So the other thing you want to see is, notice that my high hand is not close to my head. You want the arm to be away from you. You want some distance here. So I'll show you again. We're here. I step to the front corner of the room. Then I rock back, hold the ball, and then I step up. I step forward to the other corner of the room, and we're here. So the other thing I wanted to point out, for instance, in our pot the wall horse's mane, we rock back, and then we turn the foot out. Remember? Before we step up. So we're not going to do that here. What we want to do is, we do our first fair maiden weaves at the shuttle. All we do is rock back. We don't turn the foot, angle it out in any direction. All we do is rock back, keep the foot pointed in that same direction, and then step up. And now we step out to the other corner of the room. So we'll go through that again. We'll start from the beginning. So we're here in play the lute. I step back. Now the forward hand scoops under the ball. The other hand goes on top of the ball. I drag the front leg into the body. My whole body turns to the right, pivoting on that left toe. I allow my body to sink back onto the left foot. I continue moving my body to the right, pivoting on the other heel. So now I can step forward and then step forward to the corner of the room for our first posture. We rock back, we step up, and then step to the other corner of the room. So now I'll give you this angle here from Play the Lute last week. So what I want to make clear is, so we finished with our Repulse the monkey. We're going to turn around now. So we scoop under, the right hand holds on top of the ball. So the front leg drags in, body turns to the right. Now we pivot on the other heel. So now what I want to make clear is, so I step forward, then I step out to that corner of the room for a fair maiden weaves at the shuttle. So now I rock back, I hold the ball, I need to move the body back into mountain climbing stance and step forward to that corner of the room. But now I look to that other corner of the room and step out into the other fair maiden weaves at the shuttle. That's the point I wanted to make clear, that we do our first fair maiden weaves at the shuttle, we rock back, now we step into that direction of that corner of the room. Now we turn to that corner of the room, we step for our second fairy maiden weaves at the shuttle. So I'll go through the movements a couple more times. So from here, then I'll give you this angle here, straight onto the camera. So repulse the monkey 2 times, backing up on that center line. So now we hold the ball. We still stay on that center line. Now this is the first time we go off center. All right, I'll give you another straight onto the camera. I hold the ball. The left hand is underneath the ball. I drag the front foot in. I begin to turn around. So now this will be the first time I step off center to the front corner of the room. Okay, so if you made it this far, if you completed lesson 4, even if you're struggling a little bit, you're going all the way. So again, this will be a little bit more of a challenge, backing up, keeping your balance, but eventually you can take a larger step. But for now, I want you to take a small step, because taking a small step is going to help you turn around and be facing in the right direction that you need to be facing. So next week, we go back on that center line. So we go to the corner of the rooms here, but then we go back on the center line. So, just keep working at it, and it'll get easier over time. So that's it for this lesson. Have a good week. Have a good day. Please give me some feedback. Leave me some comments. Give me a thumbs up. And please subscribe to the channel. Okay? So take care. Have a good day. Bye.